Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to the WSET Level 3 Award in Wines mock examination. If you're watching this video, it's because you have chosen to participate in the mock exam sessions that I am providing. The idea behind the sessions is, of course, to help you prepare better for your examination, which is coming up very soon. So I've sent you a couple of samples, 4 samples to be precise, in the post, in little 50ml pouches, each of those samples labelled 1 to 4. The idea is that you will sit down and you will assess those wines under examination conditions, which is 2 wines in half an hour. You don't know what they are, of course, so you need to write your tasting note according to the systematic approach to tasting and use it in a way that is going to achieve you the marks that is required by the examiner to give you, at the least, a pass grade in your exam. So I have sent you these 4 samples in order for you to practice. So your first exam, you've got 2 exams here effectively. So your first exam is wines 1 and 2, and your second exam is wines 3 and 4. You will need to chill wines 1 and 3 slightly in order to get the best from them. They're white wines, I'll tell you that now. Wines 2 and 4 are red wines, so you don't need to chill those. Now, in the actual exam itself, you could get a white wine, you could get a red wine, and you could get a sweet wine. Okay, and the sweet wine is going to be a white wine, not a sweet red wine. You will not get a sparkling wine, you will not get a fortified wine, and you will not get a rosé wine either. So it's either going to be a white wine, a red wine, or possibly a sweet white wine. Okay, so prepare yourself to get those 3 different styles of wine. So when you are ready, taste the wines, use your ISO tasting glasses, which I hope you've been using to help you prepare for the exam as you've been following the course and following your study plan. Use the blank examination mock examination paper that I sent you by email as well. If you haven't got that, get in touch, I can forward that to you now. Use that to complete your tasting notes for wines 1 and 2. And then repeat for wines 3 and 4. Once you're ready to taste those wines, stop the video, taste the wines, complete the exam paper, and then restart the video to watch the feedback, which is what I'm about to give you now. Okay, so let's look at wine number 3. You've already done wine 1 and 2, that was covered in the previous video. Now we're going to look at wine 3 and 4. Okay, so wine 3 and 4 I have in my, or this is wine number 3, I have in my glass here. My assessment of the appearance of this wine is that it is a medium gold colour. Medium gold for this, so that's what you'll get the marks for on the appearance. I'm going to make notes as we go through. Once you've finished your tasting notes and you've marked them according to this feedback video, then do send your papers to me and I'll see if there's any other areas of feedback that I can offer you to help you better prepare for this this exam. So we're going to say medium gold on the appearance for wine number 3. You get 2 marks on the appearance, 1 for talking about the intensity and 1 for talking about the nature of the colour itself. Right, now let's move on to the nose. Okay, so the condition is clean. You're not going to get any marks for that. So let's move straight on to the intensity. So what I tend to do, can I smell it here? If I can, I'm going to give it pronounced. Yep, I can smell it here. Just about. Yeah, it's good, pronounced. So can smell it at the chin, so we're going to go pronounced intensity. Now, aroma characteristics, what you should do here is split them into the 3 categories: primary, secondary and tertiary. Make sure as long as they're relevant, of course, that you include all three of those aroma characteristics in your tasting note. The WSET absolutely want you to identify primary, secondary and tertiary characteristics. So primary, okay, this is all stone fruit. So I think we've got some peach and some apricot on the nose here. Lovely. Secondary characteristics. Okay. Vanilla from oak. You can also say cedar as well. Good. Okay. You know what else I'm going to add as a secondary characteristic? Let me just check actually, what do the WSET identify this as? Yes, butterscotch. Definitely, we can put butterscotch in here as well. Good. We've also got some preserved fruits as well, which I think we can add to our primary characteristics, preserved fruits. And then for our tertiary characteristics, we've got marmalade. Clear as day, marmalade in here. And there's some ginger as well, which represents, and honey. Yep, okay. Marmalade, ginger and honey, which represent bottle age on this wine. Good. Okay, so because we have got a significant number of tertiary characteristics, we therefore need to identify this wine as developing. Okay, if the wine only has primary characteristics, then the wine would be described as youthful. If it's got a mixture of primary and tertiary characteristics, then we describe the wine as developing. If the wine is dominant in tertiary characteristics, then we would describe it as fully developed. This has only got some tertiary characteristics. There's still room for this wine to age a little and develop further tertiary characteristics. So we're just going to go for developing on the nose of this wine. Okay, so you get 5, 6, 7 marks in total for the nose. 1 for the intensity, 5 for the aroma characteristics, and then 1 for the development. So that's 7 marks in total. Okay, let's move on to the palate. Okay, always helpful, because you can't use your systematic approach to tasting card in the examination. You can't take this in with you, so you must have learnt this off by heart. Get yourself a little mnemonic to help you remember all the categories that you need. For palate, I like to use SAT, BAF. Sweetness, acidity, tannin, body, alcohol, flavour intensity, flavour characteristics, and finish. SAT, BAF. SAT, BAFFF. And that should help you remember everything that you need to write down. So let's start with the first one there, which was S for sweetness. Now this is a sweet wine. Okay, so give yourself a mark if you wrote sweet down. Acidity. What are we going to say for acidity? I'm going to have another taste. I've talked too much. I can't remember. Okay, medium. Not a huge amount of acidity there. No tannin, because this is a white wine, so no tannin, so you don't get a mark for tannin. Alcohol, medium. Body, it's got a little bit of weight behind it, so I'm going to go for medium plus. And the flavour intensity, well, much like the nose, I'm going to say pronounced. Okay, flavour characteristics. Now you have 3 marks here, so again split them into primary, secondary and tertiary. Peach, apricot. Secondary, I'm going to go for vanilla. Tertiary, I'm going to go for marmalade. Okay, that's going to get you your 3 marks for there. And then finally the finish. Again, take another mouthful if you need to. Medium plus. Okay, so you'll get plenty of wine in the exam. So don't worry about going back and tasting several times. You don't want to overwhelm your palate, so don't take too many sips, but you will get plenty of wine in the exam, so do feel free to go back if you need to. So medium plus on the finish. Now, because we have medium plus finish, we did have pronounced and intensity. There's quite a lot of complexity in there. Balance. I think there's a slight bitterness on the back palate, which is making me feel that there's a slight imbalance in this wine. I think there's a little bit of weight missing here, perhaps for the alcohol that there is, and not much, but maybe just a little bit. So in fact, I think we said medium plus for the, yeah, we did. We said medium plus for the body, didn't we? So I don't think this is an outstanding wine. I think this is missing a little bit of length. It's missing a little bit of weight, a little bit of concentration. So I think we have to mark this as very good instead of outstanding. But there's a good amount of primary characteristics in there. It's got some acidity. It has got all that sweetness, of course. So this is a wine that's going to keep, not for a huge number of years, but it's not one to be drinking over the weekend. Well, I'm going to. I've got it open now, so I'm going to drink that and enjoy that over the weekend. But I would say that this is can drink now, but has potential for aging. So for the palate, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 marks for a white wine. 10 for a red because you have to mention tannin. But on the white wine, you just get 9 marks. And on the conclusion, for your assessment of quality and its readiness for drinking, you get a further 2 marks. So that gives us 9, 18, 20 marks total for your white wine. Tot them up, see what you got. Okay, let me know what you've got by sending me your paper, and I will look through it and see if there are any further notes for feedback. I should tell you what wine number 3 was. So wine number 3 was a Sauterne. Okay, I will post a picture of exactly which wine it was and give you the details of exactly which wine it was on the video. Okay, so let's look at wine number 4 and go through the feedback for that. Okay, so this is clear, but you're not going to get a mark for that. This is medium deep, and it is, I'm going to say, purple. So medium purple. It does have ruby tints. So if you've said ruby, I'm going to give you the mark for that as well. So that'll give you your 2 marks for the appearance. Condition on the nose is clean. Remember, you don't get any marks for condition, but it's very good practice to always make a note of the condition of the wine first. So, can't smell it there. Nope. Not getting it on my lips either. On my nose. I'm getting it nice and clearly there, so I'm going to go for medium intensity. Okay, the aroma characteristics. Okay, so primary, secondary, tertiary. Lots of primary characteristics. So strawberry, raspberry, cherry, strawberry, raspberry, cherry. I think we can go for some red plum as well. Remember to be specific with your colours as well. So specify red cherry or red plum. Otherwise you won't get the mark for that. So strawberry, raspberry, red cherry, red plum. It has got some really sort of sweet kirsch. I think we can say it's got some kirsch in there as well. I do, however, think the flavours are fairly simple. We haven't got any secondary notes in there. We haven't got any tertiary notes either. There's nothing coming from oak. There is nothing in there from age, bottle age either. So I think we've got a simple wine on our hands, and it's only really fruity. So we also have to note that it's simple. And the WSET will expect you to recognise a simple wine, and they will award you a mark for saying simple. If you don't say it's simple, you will miss a mark. So the WSET absolutely want you to be able to identify simple wines. Okay, good. I think that's the right thing to do. So, and the development of this wine, well, because there's only primary fruit characters in there, then we have to describe it as youthful. Okay, let's move on and have a look at the palate. Okay, this is dry. Acidity, well, I think there's a little bit in there, medium plus. Acidity. Tannin, you can barely feel them. They are there, and because it's a red wine you'll get a mark for that, but medium minus. Alcohol, medium. Body, medium minus. Don't be frightened to use minuses and pluses. Assume everything is sort of going to default to medium, and then say to yourself, hang on, is there a bit more, or perhaps there's a bit less? If you feel it's a bit less than medium, go for medium minus. If you feel that it's got a bit more, then go for medium plus. Okay, so that was the body. Flavour intensity, I'm going to have another mouthful. Medium flavour. I can pick it up more on my palate, I think. And the flavour characteristics, again, primary, secondary, tertiary. You've got 3 marks here. All of it's primary. Strawberry, raspberry, red cherry. Now, you'll only get 3 marks, but my advice is always to write down more aroma and flavour characteristics than you get marks for. So write down 5 or 6, provided you can find 5 or 6. Don't make them up, of course. Hopefully they'll be relevant and appropriate to the wine. You'll only get the 3 marks for mentioning 3, but you stand a better chance of overlapping with what the examiner, in most cases that's me, what the examiner has identified in the wine. So add some more aroma and flavour characteristics down. Lovely. Okay, and the finish, don't forget the finish, our third F, which is finish, and I'm going to go medium minus for that. Okay, quality level, well, it's simple. It's lacking a little on the finish, it's lacking a little weight, but it's fruity and it's attractive, and it's nicely made. It's showing some distinctive characteristics, so it's more than acceptable. I think this is a good quality wine. Okay, however, it's lacking concentration, it's lacking structure, it's got a fair amount of acidity, but it hasn't got that tannin to help drive this to be worth cellaring. At this stage, say to yourself, is this wine going to benefit from me leaving it in a box, sitting in my cellar for the next 3 to 5 years? And if it's not, then it's a wine that's designed for drinking now. And to me, that's exactly what this wine is. It's a wine for drinking now. So let's say drink now, not suitable for aging. And this is marked out of 21. So the total is 41. And to pass, you need to score 23 marks. So work out your scores and let me know what they were. Send me your tasting notes as well, and if I can give you any extra feedback, then I will do. If you have any questions about any of those wines that we've tasted, then of course let me know. You have my email address, so get in touch with me, and we'll take it from there. But I hope you found this exercise useful. Wine number 4, by the way, was a Beaujolais Village. It's again, I'll post all of the details on the video when I do the editing, but it's a Beaujolais Village. Okay, hope you've enjoyed that session. Hope you found it useful. You know where I am if you have any questions about anything that I've mentioned this evening.